Welcome to the Self-Love Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Melanie Monaco, and I hold certifications in intuitive eating, integrative nutrition, feminine energy healing, yoga, and more. My mission is simple: to help women transform their bodies and lives with self-love. I've worked with women all over the world and learned a lot along the way, and I am so excited to share it all with you here. This is a wellness-centric, motivational, and transformational podcast that will give you the tools you need to cultivate more self-love through nutrition, movement, mindset, personal development, spirituality, and beyond. I'm so grateful to have you here. Now let's do this. When I first started teaching yoga and fitness full-time, I was really struggling. I remember being in the middle of a class and just feeling so exhausted, and by the end of a class just feeling completely delirious. And I knew that something wasn't working for me, that I wasn't setting up my body for success in the right way so that I would have sustained energy throughout class. And so I decided to start with how I was doing my morning and what I was eating in the morning. And so I tried a bunch of different things. I tried oatmeal, and that was too much. I tried sprouted grain toast, and that didn't work well either. I tried just an apple. It wasn't enough. And eventually I figured that I wasn't getting enough protein in my diet. And so since I'm a vegetarian, I turned to plant-based protein, and I decided to have it in a liquid form. So I started having plant-based protein shakes, and it changed the game. So if you haven't figured out your morning routine yet, now is the time. I have aligned myself with a brand that has incredible plant protein powder, along with a range of other smoothie boosters that have changed the game. I'm talking about powdered greens that will really up-level your nutrition so that you can easily assimilate nutrients and vitamins and minerals, which is going to allow you to just feel amazing. Check out my website, melaniemonaco.com/shop, if you want the same products that I currently use to feel energized and creative and healthy and radiant and all the good things. And if you want to learn about how you can get 20% off, send me a DM on Instagram at the Self-Love Lifestyle, and I'll hook you up. All right, friends, here's to starting your day the right way. Friends, I am so excited to be recording this episode for you today. This is a really important, close to my heart topic that is going to be really personal, but I think will give you a lot of value, because I believe it is through sharing our personal hardships and how we move through them that we're able to gain insight and knowledge, so that as we continue to progress through our lives, we do so with even more awareness and ideally self-love. So to start things off, you may not know this, but at 15 years old, I was told I wouldn't walk again. I was in a very serious car accident, and without getting into any graphic detail, I had the entirety of my right foot, ankle, leg rolled over on a car. The car was had no windows, no doors. It was like a Jeep-esque car, and my leg got caught on the outside as it rolled. So you can imagine what that did to my body. And I was in a hospital room, and a doctor came in and was like, "You are likely not going to walk again." And I remember so vividly, I remember that moment. And I turned to my mom, and then I looked back at the doctor, and I was like, "No, I am going to walk again." And then I looked at my mom, and I was like, "I'm going to dance again." Because at the time I was really into dancing, really into performing. I still love dancing. And the next few months I was out of school, and I was completely bedridden. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this story is not just to share a trauma that happened in my life, it is to really tell you what I did next and how that impacted who I am today and what I'm sharing with you, and give you some nuggets of gold that you can take into your life to transform your life. So let's put this into perspective. When you receive bad news, you have two ways you can react. The first way is to just accept that it is what it is, making yourself a victim of your circumstances, and go through the self-pitying downward spiral and wallow. And sometimes that can be cathartic, but you have to get to the second option if you want to grow. And the second option is that, yes, you accept that things might suck. Things might be awful. Life happens and there's terrible things that we all go through. But you have a choice of how you want to feel. And this is where self-responsibility comes into play. You have a choice of what happens next. If you really love someone and they're given bad news, do you just go and cry, and have them console you? No, you're like, I'm here for you. How can I comfort you? Here's all of these ways that I'm willing to help you. What can I do? And if you really love yourself, or if you really want to love yourself, you can treat yourself the same way. So instead of just sitting there and crying and doing nothing, you can look at yourself in the mirror or just say to yourself in your mind, I see you. I know this sucks, but what are the ways I can support you? What are the things I can do to get you out of this? How can I change the way you feel now so that you have hope, so that you feel loved? And that is how you're going to begin to change things for the better. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. This is actually probably the harder road for most people. But it is the only road if you want to grow. If you have a goal of how you want to feel, if you have a goal of how you want to live your life, you have to move through the inconveniences in life or the traumas in life. You can accept them, but you have to heal them and then move past it, keeping your eyes on the horizon of who you want to be. The truth is that self-love is not all sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. It's not just about doing face masks on a Sunday or lighting candles or, going to yoga classes or eating vegetables and drinking water, though all of those things can be really beneficial. Self-love goes way deeper than that. It's about taking responsibility for you and your life. It's about loving yourself the way you would want to be loved. It's about recognizing who you are as a whole and being incredibly honest with yourself so that you can allow yourself to transform in the person you were meant to be. It's about so much more than just self-care. Life is so complex. We don't know why we exist. We don't know why things happen the way they happen, but we can find meaning in it all. And when you start to find meaning in it all, you start to know yourself more. And when you truly know yourself, that's when you can really love yourself. When you acknowledge yourself, that's when you can move into that full self-love. And so if you want to put this into a different perspective, I know this has been pretty heavy, so let's lighten it up a little bit. I was, yesterday, it was one of those days. I had multiple things go wrong. I was, stuck on a really sweaty, stinky subway because there were delays, and, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I still hadn't had dinner. I was really hungry. This was after a 13-hour day. I taught 2 yoga classes, and I was out all day, and I got back to my apartment building after a long time on the subway and the elevator wasn't working. And so again, I'm stuck in like a hot elevator, and then the doors finally open, and we live on the top floor. So I'm walking up to the 6th floor. And I get to like the 4th or 5th floor, and I'm just like laughing because it's all ridiculous, all of the things that have happened that day. And that like at the end of a really, really long day, I have to like trudge up the stairs. And I look out the window, and it's like just a gorgeous moon. There's windows in the stairwell, and the moon is just shining so bright. And I took a moment, and I just stopped, and I just was grateful that I had that moment. And that even though there were all these really inconvenient things that happened in my day, I found meaning that had one thing not led to another, I would not have had that moment to look at the moon. And taking that moment to look at the moon, I was finally able to, for that, one of the first times in that day, one of the first moments in that day, really see the beauty in life and the magic in life and the synchronicities. And when I start to acknowledge those things, that's when I feel like I'm able to come home to myself. So this is like a much lighter version. Whether it's a trauma, whether it's a life-changing, life-altering, terrible experience, or it is the inconvenience of a broken elevator and smelly subway car, how you respond needs to be with that responsibility. How you respond needs to be with self-responsibility, because with self-responsibility comes self-love. If you really love yourself, recognize that you have the ability to change how you feel. And when you change how you feel, you'll start to change how you act. And when you begin to change how you're acting, that's when your life begins to change. And when you change your life, the lives of the people around you begin to change. And when their lives change, your community changes, and so on and so forth. And I know it might sound cliche or cheesy, but it is true. You have the ability to change the world by changing how you feel. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the people you love. You owe it to this planet and mysterious universe to take responsibility for yourself, to show up for yourself. Not because life isn't hard. Life is very hard. But because you love yourself and you know that you deserve that love. Love yourself the way you want to be loved. Feel the way you want to feel. I promise you that when you start to do this, you will begin to find meaning in the really hard things in life. And when you begin to find meaning in those things and purpose, your life is going to be so much more magical than you could possibly imagine. Every day since my car accident, have been very grateful. I'm getting emotional. I've been very grateful that I went through that experience, because there are so many beautiful things that have come into my life because of it. And because I was able to move that mountain of hardship, because I was able to have the experience of somebody telling me my body couldn't and then my body did, my life is so much more full and purposeful. You don't have to go through a trauma to get to that place. But if you can look at the traumas in your life, the relative traumas, maybe you've experienced worse, or maybe you haven't experienced anything to that degree. It doesn't matter. It's all relative. You look at the hard things you've experienced and you find gratitude. And I know it's hard. I know how hard it is. But if you can find one little grain of salt-sized gratitude in that massive mountain of a trauma, you will begin to heal. And when you begin to heal, that's where the transformation happens. That's when you can really love yourself. I hope that you are not feeling like the road is just going to be challenging, because it is, but there's so much more than that. In my car accident recovery, I spent so much time journaling about all the things I wanted to do when I got back on my feet, literally. And nobody had taught me how to do this. I mean, now there's like journals and, podcasts and like all these self-help books that will tell you to journal how you want to feel. I mean, this is something I have my clients do. But nobody taught me that. I just did it. And I would visualize myself literally hiking mountains, and I hike mountains now. I'm a yoga teacher and fitness instructor. Like, when I was told I wouldn't walk again, that is a miracle. I am a walking miracle, and you are too. You likely have, if you've been told that you wouldn't walk again and you're walking now, that's phenomenal. And if you haven't, that's also really phenomenal. So take this as a metaphor, because you likely can't physically relate. I think very few people have gone through that kind of experience. And I would not wish it on anyone, but take the metaphor. It's amazing that you're able to do the things you're able to do. It's like, I cannot think of the statistic right now, but the statistic of the likelihood of you being born, right, is like, definitely Google that. It's mind-blowing. The fact that you're here listening to this podcast, that's a miraculous thing. Our universe is so mysterious. So be grateful that you have your body. Be grateful that you have your mind. Be grateful that you have enough dedication to yourself to listen to a podcast on self-love. Like, not even there's so few people that would even take responsibility to even just listen to the podcast. So you're doing it. And now take action. Next time you're confronted with a situation, whether it is a life-altering situation or just an inconvenience, I want you to ask yourself, how can I change the way that I feel? And how can I act according to how I want to feel? And you'll move through it, and you'll love yourself more for it. All right, friends. I think that about covers everything I wanted to share with you today. If you have any questions, if you want to hear the gruesome details of what happened, or you just want to share how this made you feel, then I'd love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram at The Self-Love Lifestyle. And if you are looking forward to hearing more podcasts about self-love that might not be so heavy, that might be funnier or lighter, or, I have a range of things that I want to talk about. But if you're looking forward to hearing more, then definitely subscribe and follow me on Instagram so that you stay up to date on everything that is coming out. I definitely have a lot in store I'm working on for you so that I can help you transform with self-love. All right, I'll see you next time, friends. Are you feeling stuck in a body you don't love? Or unable to find lasting motivation to maintain a healthy lifestyle? Or maybe you feel like you're constantly fighting against your body in order to transform how you look or feel. I know exactly how that goes, but to be honest, 95% of diets fail, and it's really not your fault. The problem is not the food that you're eating or the amount that you're exercising, but it's how you're relating to your body and food. And I'm here to share with you that there's a way for you to have the food that you love and a body you love without the dieting, over-exercising, or calorie counting, because that doesn't even work anyway. I've created a roadmap utilizing everything I've learned in my certifications from intuitive eating, integrative nutrition, energy healing, yoga, fitness, and more. And it's an intuitive wellness roadmap that's going to give you a personalized step-by-step approach to cultivating a body you love unconditionally and the freedom to eat without guilt. In a 30-minute video call with me, we're going to look at your goals not only for your body, but also your life. Because the truth is, you could eat only kale and exercise every single day. But if you're not nourished in all areas of your life, you're not going to be happy or healthy, right? So then we're going to uncover what's been holding you back from living the life of your dreams. We're going to look at the belief systems that are in place, the stories that you're telling yourself, and maybe even lingering ideas of who you think you should be that are detaching your self-worth. And I want to then give you a personalized step-by-step roadmap to becoming the happiest, healthiest, and most confident version of yourself so that you can live purposefully and in alignment with the best version of you. Through utilizing the proven strategies and tools from all my certifications, you're going to have a guide to reaching your goals, whatever they may be. If you want to tap into the power of intuitive wellness, discover how to effortlessly nourish your body and your soul, and cultivate a body you love unconditionally, then head to my website, melaniemonico.com. That's melaniemoniaco.com to book your free call now. I would love to chat with you soon, so make sure to hop on my calendar while there are still spots available. If you felt inspired or moved by what you heard today, then be sure to leave a rating and review. I would love to hear what you're vibing with so I can create more incredible content to help you transform your life with self-love. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at The Self-Love Lifestyle, on Facebook at The Self-Love Lifestyle, and you can also sign up for my mailing list and find free downloads, resources, and more at melaniemonico.com. That's melaniemoniaco.com. And be sure to subscribe to the Self-Love Lifestyle podcast so you never miss an episode. I'll see you next week, my love.